Like Moses crazy as hell, man.
They say you live a little longer, you see a lot of things.
Hey,
Hey,
Kevin.
yo,
Hey,
I
Kevin,
just
it
want
is
to
so
say,
good to see you.
I just want to say, like, people do a lot of shit in their past and in their life, and they make a lot of mistakes, and they learn and they grow and they regret and all that shit. I'm just wondering, do people just get demonized for everything they've done incorrectly?
He said he does it now.
I want to address that, him. I want to
No, he
address
didn't.
that. No.
He said,
No. The way he presented it, he didn't see anything wrong with that, and he would do that and does do that. Is how it was presented.
well, that's what we didn't ask clarifying questions. Instead, we just mauled him.
No.
So I wish.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, y'all gonna try to maul me? So
No, you pause.
all I'm saying is he didn't. I wonder why we didn't try to like dive into it. We just gave how we felt about it. I wondered if maybe we'd have asked inquiring. Maybe we could, because love, we're speculating that he does it now. We didn't ask the questions. I just wish we would have dove in a little bit. That's all.
Go ahead. Like that. But what he said was, if she does this, then I do that. Now he didn't say would have or used to. He didn't use, he didn't use past tense. He used present participles, right? Like it is I'm real good at English like that. So
no, I know what you're saying. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to recollect if he was saying present tense.
He did. When you watch it back, you'll hear it. And I had a lot more questions for him as to, like, he was. Yeah. I did ask him. He was never married. He said, which I was surprised. He had a ring on his finger though, on that particular finger.
Yeah, two on. It was like the matching, like a set or something.
Oh, I see the other one. Okay, but I just have more questions about who he is, like, and his thoughts about certain things. I mean, we didn't get to it, but I really had questions about that. Does he have kids? I didn't know if he had kids or not. Why has he not been married? And looks like he's like 50 plus. I'm being generous. So why did he not get married? And he's had several women. He said he's dated a lot. So I just had a lot of questions for him. But hopefully he'll come back on next week so I can ask those questions.
No, yeah, Black Moses is dope. I know him from a couple other pods and all that. But I heard you trying to get him in, but you weren't able to. Right? Because maybe we could have got some more understanding, but instead we just wanted to kick his ass. But it is what it is, I guess. And maybe to Dana's point, maybe to Nate's point, once you do a certain thing, ain't no need for understanding. Maybe that's the thing. Although she did ask me clarifying question, maybe because we family, maybe that's why. You know what I mean?
But is there anything about what he was saying that sounded remorseful or sounded like he had a regret? Because the way that you just framed the question to us was like, you didn't say this verbatim, but can people change? Are we holding people to their past and their mistake? You used the word mistake. He didn't make it sound like it was a mistake. He was gloating on that shit, and he was very proud of what he did. He was laughing like that shit wasn't. He didn't regret a single thing of that, a single piece of that. Okay. So I don't think that there were any qualifying questions required because of, like Love said, the way that he presented it to us. And so I don't think that we were jumping on him or attacking him. We were responding to what he was giving us. Okay.
I think shut the fuck up is an attack though.
That was a little aggressive, but I'm not gonna say I was triggered because I've never been abused, but I don't think there's anything funny about abuse. I don't think there's anything funny about making light of it or trying to joke about it or justify it, or so that to me it was just pure ignorance, and I had enough at that point.
I got you. 1 second. Perfect Wisdom with a $5 super chat. They don't know about real bad boys. I rock with Black Moses. Black Moses, I have no regrets.
I rest my case.
There it is, right there. Like
crazy, man. Mr. Kevin, what's up, though?
Hello, Hemp. How you doing as the host? And hello to the ladies. How you guys doing?
Hey, Mr. Kev.
Hello.
Why we call you Mr. Kev anyway?
You got question? You got a question, comment, or smoke, Mr. Kev?
I have comments, probably some smoke. Depending on whether or not the ladies disagree. But I
got one more. I got one more in the back chat, so I just want to make sure I split the time, because you know what I mean. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I actually believe when they say they want a nice guy. I actually believe y'all when you say that. The problem is when do you want that nice guy? That's the issue. Do you want him when you probably should get him and go ahead and marry him and build with him and all the other stuff? Or do you want him later on and try to swing back and pick him up when you're trying to do something else? See, when do you really want that nice guy? Because what I've noticed is that women will date differently or choose men differently when they're not trying to actually, lock something in. That's where you get all the issues and the problems and I guess the guys that, probably are sometimes are problematic in some ways. But the guy that was good from the beginning, who would have been the great husband, father, and done all the right things, he might not be, or you might not be interested in him at the time when he's available to you. So that's the bigger question is, I trust you and believe you when you say you want the nice guy, but when do you really want him? And that would be the issue. And that's kind of what I say. Does that make sense?
Yes, Kevin. Actually, I have to kind of agree with some of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I think that in our younger years, we might go after the more bad boy type of guy, and we don't always know what we want. We say we want a nice guy, and a lot of times we end up attracting those bad boys. As you get older, a little more seasoned, you're growing, you're maturing in things, you start to want the nicer guy. You don't necessarily go for the bad boy. Again, I could just be speaking from personal experience, but I think that from what I'm hearing, it sounds like a lot of the women we're all saying like we've always wanted that nice guy, but it sounds like more so when we're in a healed space, when we matured more, when we're older. In the younger years, you kind of attract more of those bad boy images because we don't know necessarily what we want. And we're like, no, I'm not interested in him because he's too nice. And we kind of look for that adventure and that mystery in someone.
But why the nice guy got to wait till you got ran through?
I don't think they're waiting. I think we look for a nice guy. We want that, but we also don't know what we're getting either. Like sometimes we have to learn within the relationship and know that this just ain't right, and then life goes on.
But sis, you think about it though. What you saying? So you dating all these so-called bad guys with no intentions, right? They racking up you unnecessary bodies. Then you get older. Then you looking for the nice guy, like Nate said. Like, what about in your prime? Why can't the nice guy get a shot?
You do have intentions because some of us have been engaged before to the guys we're attracted to, right? When we're younger, like you wouldn't consider yourself. What do you consider yourself, Hampton? Ooh. A nice guy or a bad guy? I mean, you're married.
I'm not that nice.
Well, you're married, so. So a lot of us have dated similar kind of ish men in our younger years, but it just didn't end. We didn't get lucky in terms of them growing or them doing the right thing after a while, or life happens.
Okay. So I was also listening to what you guys were saying, and I look at it like this. I genuinely believe that women in general really want the nice guy, but they also want somebody who's capable of, demonstrating and actually executing on violent tendencies when it's necessary. That would be that, the guy who's ready to do, damage on your behalf. There's a saying that I kind of learned in the military. It's basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, we sleep safe in our beds at night because rough men stand ready tonight to do violence on our behalf to keep us safe from harm. Those are the guys that are nice and they're safe and they're good gentlemen. But when they're pressed and they're put into a corner and they're put in dangerous situations, and not only that, when somebody's threatening their friends or family or them specifically, now that violence comes out. And it sounds like that's kind of what women want sometimes, a combination of the guy who's nice, but at the same time ready to do damage on their behalf when necessary. Am I tracking?
Yeah, we don't want to push over.
Okay, so and there you go. You don't think the nice guy can do that though? He can be ready to do violence on your behalf to protect you, the family, himself, his friends, people he cares about, because that's generally how most nice guys are.
I agree.
You wouldn't know that they're violent because they never really pull it out. They never really have to use it. But when they do, then it comes out, and it comes out hard, swift, and fast, and it's going to be dangerous, and people are going to be scared about it. and it might even scare the people they're protecting. Like, ooh, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you were capable of that.
Yeah, Mr. Kev, I disagree. I don't see the nice guy having that. I don't know. That just doesn't resonate with me that well. I feel like nice just don't. I don't know. Cause like me myself, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't feel like I'm like super nice. Like just generally just walking around. Like I don't feel like I am.
You're breaking up a little bit, but no, you're not.
Yeah,
would you be ready to? Okay, so Mr. Hamp, Jay, let me ask you a question, good sir. Would you be ready to, do violence on behalf of your family if they were threatened?
Of course.
Okay, so that's literally what I'm talking about. The only reason I say all of that is that I've seen a lot of good men over the years who, they laugh, they joke, they're relatively nice people, but when they're impressed in dangerous situations, all of that violence comes out. It comes out in a positive way because they're protecting, people, they're protecting themselves, they're protecting the men that they care about and all the other stuff. I'm relating this, you guys know my military background, so I'm relating it that way. So, and I'm not saying you have to be in the military to have that or to see it, but if you're tested, then,
what I'm saying is
that's what these women are talking about when they say.
I understand. I think that like if I'm just using myself, I'm not super nice, but I'm kind because kindness is a deeper thing. So like the people that I care about, I'm kind to. You can have this or have that. I'm gonna make sure you're straight if you're in a place that I'm in, so on and so forth. But I feel like just that overarching niceness is too superficial. You don't got enough time in the day for that. You can't love everybody. You can't even like everybody, right? So I try to be very specific on who I invest into and especially be nice to.
All right. Is providing structure, order, discipline, focus, and just holding people to account. Is that, I see that as demonstrated leadership.
That's love. That's love. That's how you show love. By holding people accountable, respect, structure. That's how you show love for sure.
All right. Now that's not necessarily violent, but that is, a guy being firm, strong, being a leader and putting people where they're supposed to be and not letting things slide.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so when women have this thing about swagger, so I want to ask the ladies about this. So when somebody mentions swagger, women kind of light up and they kind of start smiling and doing certain things. But I look at swagger as all of the stuff I just talked about, the structure, order, discipline, focus, holding people to account and not letting anything slide. I look at that as swag or swagger. What would you guys think about that?
I'd agree with
women
that.
Say they want leadership. Women say they want leadership. That's what it looks like.
It
looks like a guy being a hard ass.
Kevin, I think you have a certain level of swagger to you. I don't. Swagger can come in different ways. It could look different. I mean, you have a certain swagger, I'd say, and it is what it is. I agree with what you said. It could come in that way too.
I agree.
Yeah. That's generally the form I try to package it in, and it just seems like it's a different definition when women say it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Miss.
No, that's okay. I don't think that there is a different definition when women say it. I think there's a different definition when men say it, because if you ask women who we consider to be swaggy, we're gonna say Barack Obama is swaggy as shit. We're gonna say Denzel is swaggy as shit. We're gonna say Mos Def is swaggy as shit. Like, it's not about feeding into a bad boy persona. It's about the way that a man carries himself and he exudes his masculinity, which is attractive to us, which is considered swag. It's not the bullshit in rap videos and the shade room and all that other bullshit. Like, we're talking about manly men who exude confidence and command attention when they walk in a room.
Okay, all right. I would say Obama's got some swag, different type of swag. I'm not sure he can fight though. So I'm not too sure about that. That being said, though, now you guys were talking about simps. So a simp is somebody who does something on behalf of women and gets nothing out of it. That's really the bottom line. I know there's a lot of definitions and some variations on that. But if you're simping for women and other people too. You can even simp for, people who are not women. You can simp for, anybody, I suppose. But a lot of guys do it for women. And I see that as you're doing a lot of things on behalf of somebody else, man, woman, or anybody, and you're not getting anything out of it. Not that you're necessarily looking for something, but at the same time, there should be some reciprocal benefit, to what it is you're doing. Which, as far as I'm concerned, eliminates a lot of women. So, the only women I'm going to, focus on is the women in my immediate circle, the ones I'm responsible for, and then maybe some people that I care about that might extend outside my immediate circle. But outside of that, there's no real reason to do anything for women I don't know. And I don't know how other guys feel about that, but, what would you say to that, Ham?
My bad, Mr. Kev. I just came back.
Oh, okay.
But based on what I'm reading, you must be doing a pretty damn good job because Will kicked you off last week.
Oh, okay.
So
all right, Will.
It's fine. Super job from Will. Kevin, great job being succinct in this episode.
Okay, hey, thanks, appreciate that. And actually, that's really all I had. I didn't have too much, but I kind of wanted to, because a lot of guys said some other stuff, so I don't want to, conflate it or convolute it too much. But I will ask, do the ladies have any questions for me? Or do you guys have any questions for me?
No, you were perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Mr. Kev, I don't have anybody else in the back, so you can chill out for a second if you want.